Zsofia Kollar is the founder of Human Material Loop with a mission to create a true textile revolution and to show that people are not above but equal to the ecosystem. Zsofia is a designer and researcher with an interest in materials and manufacturing processes. She holds a BA in interior architecture and furniture design from Royal Academy of Art, The Hague. Zsofia's idea of the design discipline is not fixed, but in flux. Her design practice often stretches the perspective to different horizons. Zsofia Kollar is the founder of Human Material Loop with a mission to create a true textile revolution and to show that people are not above, but equal to the ecosystem. Zsofia is a designer and researcher with an interest in materials and manufacturing processes. She holds a BA in interior architecture and furniture design from the Royal Academy of Art. Zsofia's idea of the design discipline is not fixed, but in flux. Her design practice often stretches the perspective to different horizons. She grew up in Hungary but moved to the Netherlands for her studies, and now she calls Netherlands her home. Hi, Zsofia, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Zsofia, welcome to POOLit Pod session. It is our pleasure to have you today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting.
Our pleasure. Zsofia, let's start with the very first and the simple question that you are a designer and a researcher. Then, how did you get the idea of starting Human Material Loop?
Human material loop originates in a more conceptual idea of just treating materials in an unexpected and different perspective. So first, the project just started to use different materials, challenge the status quo on what materials we are using. And as a designer, I often change perspective on things and on what I research. So Human Material Loop originally was just a material investigation on human hair, but then reading more about the capabilities of the material itself and the circumstances of the current textile industry just made so much sense to what vision Human Material Loop got along the way and what's its purpose and what impact it can create. So just like by researching, reading, studying the fact just became the current vision on challenging the textile industry and materials and aiming for a zero waste society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have gone through your website. It is the facts and figures that are present there. It are lots of research must have gone behind the scene to get such kind of data, and which made us read more and more about it and how such simple waste of hair can be so much useful in the textile industry. And that takes me to my second question. How the process looks like of transforming waste hair into a varied textile pieces.
So we are collecting the hair waste from hair salons. Currently, we are working with Amsterdam-based hair salons as a pilot base. And after the hair collected hair, we are transporting it to the factory where it gets spun into yarn. So at this stage, we are developing the process based on the physical properties of hair, and then we are really treating it as it would be like wool or alpaca, so other animal fibers. And then also we are utilizing the same machinery as well that the wool industry is using. So that's the process. And after the yarn is developed, we are weaving or knitting it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a lot goes behind before we get the actual product.
Yeah, so as it's not the most usual material to work with, so we also face some challenges on how to convince the industry, how to set up the machinery, what process we should go for. And of course, there is also some things that we need to sort from the waste hair. So hair salons are also not fully equipped to purely select the hair waste from the aluminum that they are also using in the salons. So we also need to have a bit of a sort to take out the materials that doesn't belong to the hair.
Okay, okay. And if I'm not wrong, you also have your researchers outside Netherlands.
Yes, so now we are working with an Italian manufacturer
Mm-hmm.
who are responsible for the textile development. We are also looking into the chemical decomposition of hair as a material, mostly what can we do with the keratin protein. And we have a researcher in Japan at the moment who investigates the decomposition of keratin protein.
Okay. Oh, so many different nationality comes together for the similar cause, and it's something very unique. I have not heard about it earlier. This is the first time I heard that our waste hair can also be, recycled and utilized for something new.
Also, during the Second World War, a Swedish company who processed wool, but due to the lack of materials, then they also developed sweaters and other like socks and knits with a blended wool and human hair. And then they also collected hair waste from salons. And that was also more from a necessity and a shortage of materials. So now I think it's really time that we just rethink our materials and just utilize all the waste we have.
Absolutely. On that thought, I have to ask on your website, I read trash is just raw material in the wrong place. And apart from paper and plastic, what all do you think can be better utilized?
I really believe that if Mother Earth could operate on a zero waste basis before humanity, we could also do that. So I think we find a solution, a purpose to all the waste. And of course, these days, paper, plastic, and glass, I think, are quite well recycled. But I think one of the major issues is also the construction industry. Because I don't know how is it in your country, but here I just see a lot of containers on the streets and the construction sites, and that's just a huge amount of waste that we need to be innovative and challenge how we can give an other purpose to those materials.
Absolutely, absolutely. If we look around ourselves, there are so many things that we are just not utilizing up to the mark, and at the end of the day, it goes in landfills. We can,
Exactly.
yeah, we can find ways. We can just wear our creative hat and reutilize it for the better purpose.
Yeah, I really think like we can reach a zero waste society and basis, but we just need to think different and
Absolutely. We have to just change the process of our thinking and find different ways. We have to think out of box if we have to reach to the zero waste phase.
exactly.
Hmm. Uh, Zsofia, it sounds so good that you are doing something very unique. Not common that people are taking waste hair and making something out of it which is useful. Uh, and when you are doing something different, I'm sure the journey wouldn't be that simple. So, what kind of challenges you must have faced while developing human material loop?
Difficult to say because, of course, first time when I tell about this project and my goals, everybody looks so okay, weird. But after revealing the facts of the textile industry, the necessity of change our manufacturing processes, people are quite open. I would say the most difficult part was to convince the textile industry
Hmm.
to at least be open, operating their machines, giving a chance to a material that hasn't been used in production. So I think that was the biggest challenge that we have to overcome. But as I said, after telling the facts and then the future of a new material integration, people understand that there is need for ideas like this. And if we don't go radical and innovative, then we will never change. And we don't have much time. The planet and the resources are really in a bad situation. So
True.
we
Absolutely.
have to grab onto every bold idea, every radical innovation that can give a possibility to improve the life and the planet.
Mm-hmm. So the major challenge that you face is the acceptancy from the textile industry to accept your product, give an opportunity to use your product.
I would say it's more in the manufacturing process. So I'm talking now with a few brands and designers who are really enthusiastic to actually work with the human material loop, develop materials. It was just the part to convince the manufacturers to actually start running their machines with the new material, to give the experiment, try and see. So that was the most difficult part. But after I have the product and people see, they are quite open and excited. So now we have quite some production in process at the moment, and many designers are really enthusiastic to get a hold onto them and make a new design.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad, and I hope you and human material loop get more and more opportunity to have such unique product which is directly supporting our environment. Zsofia, your vision is to support local businesses. So far, how impactful is your service, or what impact do you see in the near future through HML, human material loop?
So at the moment, we can measure our impact by the removed waste that we collected from hair salons. So those few 100 kilograms of hair waste that we removed and gave a second purpose, I think that that was also visually quite impressive to see that, wow, this amount did not end up in landfills. So that was one of the impact we could already see and measure. And then the second, since we are still in research and development, so we haven't give the materials to local designers yet, but I think that would be the second big impact that we will create to make local designers work with local materials and the material which has such a low carbon footprint. So I think that will be also quite impactful. And already people who go to the salons that I'm also working with, and then they say like, oh wow, my hair got recycled, this is amazing, like I can really contribute to a more sustainable future. And yeah, cut a little more, then we can make more things out of it. And I think that's also quite a big impact, maybe more difficult to measure, but the individual minds shift, how they
Absolutely.
are also shifting and thinking different. And it just feels also really good when hairdressers tell me like, yeah, and then all the clients are asking, and then we talk about sustainability. So I think it's also quite a suitable environment, because you are just sitting there, you have nothing to do, you just talk, and in a really like an other environment than where usually people discuss environment. But now I also made it possible that it's a starting conversation of hairdressers and people that okay, what do we do for this environment?
Absolutely. With word of mouth, you're not only recycling the waste hair, but also creating awareness about the sustainable environment when we can use such waste for different things to make some textile pieces. Why not the other waste can also be utilized in a better way for the sustainable environment?
Yeah, and then even though if people will be not all of them open to have products made out of human hair, but I really hope at least I start something in their mind, and maybe they do something else that really contributes to a more sustainable future. So little by little, small steps, changing perspectives. I think that's how we should go.
Absolutely. Changing perspective, changing thinking process of people. I think that's the toughest challenge when you are thinking about sustainable environment. And if you can do your bit and there is some change, your job is done.
Yeah, exactly.
Zsofia, so far we spoke about recycling, the ways, the research, the challenges, but now will be a small fun part of this session, that is rapid fire. I will ask a simple question and you have to give me quick answer. Whatever comes to your mind at that time, just say it.
Yeah.
Uh, what's your favorite environmental book?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's the next one I'm gonna read. So, Ending Fossil Fuels: Why Net Zero is Not Enough, by Holly Jane Buck. I'm really looking forward to read this one.
I think I will look forward to it too, because then a name says it all. I'm sure there will be a lot to learn from that book.
Exactly.
What's your favorite website? Could be any.
Recently, I am really enjoying going through the Global Fashion Agenda's website. And they just have a brilliant content and diverse stories. And also they collected a lot of brands and initiatives that goes around the sustainable textile and fashion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I must say, even your website is quite well designed. It has lots of content that when you start reading it, you want more. So kudos to you and your team.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Well, it was a challenge also because of all the data we had, so we had to like minimize a lot because people were telling there's just so much content we cannot read so much. So now we found a fine balance between the quick information, some popping diagrams, and then if you still want to read further, there is also a section for that.
Yeah, yeah. And the last one is, who inspires you the most in personal, professional life, anywhere?
People who are persistent and do actions, even though if it's like the very small step. It just, I feel like if you are persistent, you are just going for your goals and dreams, and you are just not giving up on it. It's just so powerful and so inspiring that you just believe in your idea, believe in yourself. And it can be, you know, very small things. Like I read this article about a small kid collecting some of the cups or the caps of the plastic bottles, and then he was just like collecting hundreds and thousands, and then just like not giving up and persistent. And
So people who are persistent in their act and walk their talk, show something in
exactly,
action. Yeah,
exactly.
wonderful. Wonderful. Zsofia, we are almost towards the end of our session, but before you leave, if any advice or message that you would like to share with our viewers?
If you never try, you will never know if it will work. So just give it a try, give it a go. And what can happen if it doesn't work? Well, you tried. So I think that's the best advice I also ever got, to just give it a try.
Very nice. Just give it a try. Unless and until you try, you will never know whether it's good or bad for you.
Exactly. And once you give it a try, you will learn so much along the way, and it will also change a bit of the direction, and you're just gonna discover so much more. But if you never start, you will never know.
True, true. With that, thank you so much, Zsofia, for giving your precious time to us and having this lovely conversation, enlightening our audience about waste of hair and how waste can be utilized in a better way and can be repurposed. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, very welcome. I also have a little yarn, maybe can be interesting too.
Okay.
Just the very, very first one.
So this is made out of hair.
Yeah,
This thread.
100%. Yeah, this one is just the prototype, so it's not the final yarn yet. So it was in the beginning stage. that we
Okay.
made this. So
Uh-huh.
the ones that are gonna go into the market and into final products, they will be a bit more smooth, better spun.
Okay.
This was just like how at the beginning.
With that, Zsofia, thank you so much for your time. It was
Yeah,
lovely
very
chatting.
welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me.
If you like today's video and want to watch more of similar kind of videos, then do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on other social media channels. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.